What's going on, everybody? Dominic Caminata here, Grosso University, on another beautiful Warrior Wisdom Walk. I want to thank you for joining me here today. And I got a very interesting topic that I'm sure is going to give me a lot of comments, some good, some bad, but it's something that I feel compelled to share today. And this ties back into the theme of self-sabotage, because we have to understand that we have been mind-controlled and programmed to adopt certain habits and behaviors in our daily life, and not all of them are necessarily good for you. And I think a lot of times it's downplayed just how bad some of these habits can be for us over time. And the one habit that is especially prevalent in sales and in life and just in this country at large is drinking caffeine. Whether it's your energy drinks, whether it's your coffee, whether it's your green tea, however you decide to get your caffeine, the title of this Warrior Wisdom Walk is Stop Consuming Caffeine. Stop drinking caffeine. Once you know what caffeine truly is and what it does to the body, it's pretty eye-opening that we're just getting caffeine and coffee and energy drinks shoved down our throat from every which way to Sunday. Have you ever asked yourself why there seems to be a coffee shop in every corner? And why when you go to like a gas station or a grocery store, the energy drink aisle is growing exponentially. Of course, there's a lot of money in it, right? So I'm not saying anything you don't know already, that caffeine is a very addictive substance, but a lot of people don't know what caffeine really is. Did you know, for example, that caffeine is actually a pesticide that is naturally created by coffee plants to keep insects and bugs away? Now, let me ask you a simple question. Just put the word caffeine aside. Would you be willing to knowingly drink a pesticide every single day? A pesticide. If you knew you're consuming a pesticide every single day, would you keep doing it? So now I want to explain what coffee really does to the body, and that coffee is nothing more than borrowed energy. Okay, so a lot of Native Americans used to describe caffeine as empty fire. Now, anything you borrow, what do you have to do? You have to pay it back, right? So what does it mean to be borrowed energy? So caffeine actually does not energize your body. Caffeine, there's nothing about caffeine that gives you energy. What happens is caffeine is a poisonous substance because it's a pesticide. And when it enters your body activates its fight or flight response because it knows that a poison has just entered your bloodstream. So your fight or flight response gets activated artificially because it's a poisonous substance, because it's toxic for you. And it starts introducing the stress response. You get adrenaline and cortisol, the stress hormone, actually entering into your bloodstream, and it puts you in a fight or flight reaction. Now, again, let's put caffeine and poison and pesticides aside, okay? Can you think of any long-term side effects that could occur if you're constantly in a state of fight or flight? So can you see how that could wreak havoc on your neurotransmitters? How that could wreak havoc on your stress hormones, your adrenal cortisol access, right? So now people know that if they have high levels of cortisol all the time, that's a recipe for disaster. You're a ticking time bomb that could lead to disease and eventually dis-ease and disease over time, okay? But people are consuming this stuff constantly. And one thing I want people to be mindful of is how much caffeine really F's up your sleep cycle, your circadian rhythm. So people don't know this, but the half-life of caffeine is about 10 to 12 hours, the half-life. Now, I know some of you sales warriors watching this, you probably have your Monster energy drink or Bang or whatever it is. There's a billion different energy drinks on the market, right? So you're having those in the afternoon to try to get that jolt, try to get that adrenaline rush, right? That dose of cortisol in your blood, activate your fight or flight response. And you know that the half-life of caffeine is 10 to 12 hours. So if you have an energy drink at 2 p.m., it's literally 2 in the morning and you still have hundreds of milligrams of caffeine flowing through your bloodstream, and your cortisol is off the charts. When you're under these nervous system stimulants like this, these stimulant chemicals, you're not able to truly get into a deep sleep, which means you're not sleeping good, which is another recipe for disaster. You're not regenerating, you're not fully recharging, you're not able to fully reset and feel fully refreshed when you wake up in the morning, okay? So I want you to understand that caffeine is a poisonous pesticide that when it enters your body, triggers a fight or flight response where your body introduces cortisol, the stress hormones, and adrenaline, and that's what gives you the perception of being energized. But it's not actually an energizing substance. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's say you were getting threatened by a grizzly bear, or you had something really trying to threaten you that truly activated your fight or flight response. Now, the way human beings are designed and engineered is when your fight or flight response gets activated, your body pours a ton of energy into your muscles and, of course, the vital organs that can allow you to have, in some cases, superhuman strength. But it gives you that jolt, that adrenaline rush, right? And then right after that, you have the crash. You have that feeling, that tired feeling, because after you fight off the enemy or turn and run away, the body's designed to rest and recover because it puts a lot of stress in your body. So now, have you ever noticed that when you drink a caffeinated beverage, about 4 or 5 hours later, you just feel that crash, you just feel so tired. And then you need to rely on another empty fire borrowed energy supplement to keep going, to keep that adrenaline rush going, right? So it's not real long-term sustainable energy. So now I want to talk about some other elements of caffeine that a lot of people don't talk about. So caffeine, along with it being a pesticide that causes your stress hormones and your adrenal cortisol axis to get all shot, which, by the way, I'm going to talk about ways you can reset that, but also it is a known diuretic, which means it sheds water from your body. So what is the most important element to sustain life? So, of course, water, oxygen, water. So, it's no secret that your body is comprised mostly of water. Now, a diuretic in moderation is not the end of the world, but think of it. If you're consuming a diuretic that's shedding water from your body every single day in large quantities, what's that going to do to your overall health and wellness long term? So we wonder why most of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Because first of all, they're not drinking enough water. And secondly, they're drinking all these diuretics that are shedding water from their body. And that's going to lead to all kinds of problems with cellular congestion, with all kinds of toxic waste built up in your body. It's also going to lead to aches and pains and inflammation because you don't have enough hydration to have enough cushion in your joints to sustain a healthy lifestyle. So you wonder why your back hurts, why you get all these aches and pains and joint pain. Well, a lot of it is because you're constantly consuming a poisonous diuretic every single day that's shedding water from your body, and it's not good for you. Now, some of you may understand, maybe some of you are more educated than the average bear. You may understand that gut health is essential for the overall health and wellness of your entire body, right? And some of you may have done research that essentially our brain goes from our head all the way down to our gut. So there's neurons in your heart, there's neurons in your intestines. You got millions and millions, hundreds of millions of neurons in your intestinal tract. But if you have an unhealthy gut, it actually impacts your entire body in ways you can't even imagine. Now, how does caffeine play a role? When you're drinking caffeine, what it's doing, because it's a diuretic, is it wears down the mucus lining of your intestines to the point where you essentially have leaky gut syndrome. Now, research the long-term side effects of leaky gut and what that can do to raise havoc on your body and just cause overall poor health and unwellness. So leaky gut, poor gut health, that impacts your ability to think clearly, your neurotransmitters, serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, all these things they're talking about. Again, this is one beautifully designed system, right? But if you're poisoning the living shit out of it every single day, and again, you don't know what you don't know, right? This is why I felt compelled to make this video. And I know it's going to probably come off controversial because you love your coffee. People love their poison because they've been mind controlled to believe that this poison's good. Now, how much pesticide a day do you think is healthy for you? So a lot of people say, well, coffee in moderation or caffeine in moderation is good for you. Well, if it's a pesticide, what percentage of a pesticide do you think would be healthy for you to consume? The answer is none. It's not healthy for you. And again, it is borrowed energy, and there's a lot of natural ways that you can have sustainable energy where you don't have this roller coaster ride you're riding all day. Now, I want to tie this into sales. This is why this is vital for all you sales warriors watching this. One of the most important elements of a highly trained, top-performing salesperson is their ability to control their disruptive emotions. The thing you'll hear us saying in our training all the time is he or she who's in more control over their disruptive emotions will have the highest probability to get the outcome they desire. And we know that at the negotiating table, both you and the prospects are actually tiptoeing on the edge of fight or flight. So it's very easy for you to activate their fight or flight response. And it's actually pretty easy for your fight or flight response to get triggered as well. Now, what happens to your clarity of thought when you're in a state of fight or flight? What happens to the blood supply to your brain? You actually have less blood supply to your brain because it's going to your vital organs to, again, stay and fight or turn away and run away. And you're not able to think as clearly. Now, if you take caffeine because you try to get focused, they say mental clarity and focus. When you're in a fight or flight response, you can get laser focused on one task at hand, but your ability to think outside the box and be creative is greatly reduced. Your overall ability to access the full creative capacity of your brain is absolutely destroyed when you're in a fight or flight response. So I just want you to think how this impacts your physical and mental state when you're trying to perform at your best each and every day. So I talked about the caffeine's a pesticide. It's a poison that triggers cortisol and adrenaline in a fight or flight response. Now, if you want to reset your adrenal cortisol access, and again, just to show you how addicted to caffeine you are, do a 45-day cleanse from caffeine. Don't consume a drop of caffeine for 45 days. And the first couple of weeks are gonna feel like shit. You're probably gonna have some headaches. You're probably gonna have brain fog because, again, caffeine has caused a lot of damage. And because it's so addictive, now your body needs to get used to the new normal state of actually being optimal naturally, right? But do a 45-day cleanse, and that will reset your adrenal cortisol access. And of course, make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout that 45-day cleanse. But again, caffeine, you think about what it's doing, hydrating your body. It's causing this damaging neurotransmitter, this damaging stress hormone to be constantly infused into your body. And it's basically eating away at the mucous membrane, causing leaky gut syndrome. And of course, it causes all kinds of heart issues as well. Causes a rapid heart rate, irregular heartbeats. It's been known to cause heart palpitations, right? There's a lot of things in terms of putting stress on your heart, putting stress on your hormones, and it's causing all kinds of damage from dehydration to leaky gut. And it's, again, frying out your adrenals, and it's significantly impairing your ability to control your disruptive emotions. These are just some of the known side effects of drinking caffeine all the time. So I know this is not easy for people to listen to, but again, this is a warrior wisdom walk. I want you to live optimally. There's a lot of foods you can eat. There's a lot of things you can do in your daily routine, such as exercise, cold plunging, going for a walk, grounding, getting sunlight. There's a lot of things you can do naturally to get truly natural, truly natural, long-term sustained energy where you don't have the burnout, you don't have the fatigue. And when you're outside of this caffeinated life, you'd be blown away by how much more you can access your full creative potential because you don't have that fight or flight focus, right? And you're not gonna have the crash during the day. You're gonna be able to be a shining star and truly go into every house, or whether you're leading a team or owning a business, doesn't really matter. You're gonna be able to perform at your best long-term because you're not borrowing energy anymore. You're actually consuming life-giving foods that help you create energetic, sustainable energy because you're, again, consuming foods that give you the maximum life force energy. I talked about that in the You Are What You Eat talk. But again, this is not easy to hear, but I wanted to tell you, like, you gotta start cutting this poisonous pesticide out of your life. At least start reducing it. Again, this is not an on-off switch a lot of times. Just start reducing it slowly, how much caffeine you're dependent upon, and start focusing on natural ways you can start giving your body energy. I promise you, if you were to get some sunlight, get some grounding in, do a cold plunge, get a workout in, you're gonna have loads of energy And of course, if you're eating healthy organic foods that are full of life, you're gonna have energy, an abundance of energy like you've never seen. And you're gonna see you don't have this borrowed energy, empty fire side effect where you have this constant crash and you gotta have this jolt again in the crash. And it's just overall gonna help you sleep better, it's gonna help you live better, and ultimately help you be a top performer in your chosen profession for many, many years to come. So I want everybody here to truly optimize themselves. And the last thing I wanted to say is there's a reason why coffee and caffeine is the #1 substance they put in Hollywood movies. So you look at the first 5 to 10 minutes of any Hollywood movie, there's coffee everywhere. So it's coffee and alcohol and coffee. But there's coffee makers, there's coffee cups, there's Starbucks cups. Everybody's got their coffee constantly in all these movies. They shove it down your throat because they know what it's doing. It's weakening you. It's making you not as powerful. It's creating all this borrowed energy effect. It's screwing up your sleep, which is gonna make you dependent on all these other substances now. So you gotta take sleep aids. You know how many billions of dollars the sleep aid industry is? It's absolutely insane. So you're gonna be able to sleep just fine if you don't have all these pesticides and poisons flowing through your blood, causing your body to have a permanent state of fight or flight with adrenaline and cortisol flowing through your veins. So I hope this inspired people just to think differently. And by the way, the reason why I'm saying this is because I, for many, many years, had a crazy caffeine addiction. I mean, I was consuming thousands of milligrams of caffeine every day. And like I told you in previous talks, the reason why I'm saying these walks out loud, I'm talking to myself out loud when I'm saying this stuff, because I get cravings for this stuff all the time. And I'm constantly trying to remind myself why I'm trying to live more optimally, why I'm trying to take my health and wellness seriously, and why I'm trying to become a certified self-sabotage instructor is because this impacts every area of your life. So again, I want you to live optimal, live a happy, rich life. You definitely deserve it. And I appreciate you walking with me. I know this is not a fun conversation to listen to, but if you felt it impacted you and opened up your eyes a little bit, there's a book you can read called Caffeine Blues. I definitely recommend you read it. It's called Caffeine Blues. And it really peels back the curtain on exactly what caffeine is and how it literally is a poisonous substance that's causing a lot of harm to your body each and every day. So read that book. Make sure you post in the comments. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of interesting comments on this video, but it's fine. These videos aren't for everybody. But again, I'm looking after you. I'm trying to give you information that can help you be more optimal and improve your performance in every area of your life. So if you found value in this content, make sure you like, subscribe, thumbs up, share with your friends. So I appreciate your time. And as always at Grosso University, yes, you are closing.